Anyway, the modern day crocodile is 17 feet in length and weighs half a ton. This thing, the Sarcosuchus, was 40 feet in length and 10 tons. Now, if we take a crocodile in today's life, it's a thousand pounds. It's hard to lift a crocodile, right? Like a really massive one. And it's massive to look at. This thing is dwarfed by the Sarcosuchus. That's how, I don't understand how it's not mind-blowing by anybody else. How is it not mind-blowing by your guys' standards? Do you get that? It's incredible. I'm on a turtle. Help. What the hell? What'd you do? Jesus Christ, I can't take you anywhere. Also, here's another cool thing. The bite force, alright? The bite force of a, so bite force, let's discuss that. Bite force. I gave you a note. Thank you. Thank you. It's a present. So let's call this the USA alligator. USA gator. The USA gator bite force is around 1 ton using measurement systems, alright? So essentially, if an American alligator bites down on your body, that's 2,000 pounds of pressure being brought down upon you. It's equivalent to trying to bench press a small truck off of your body to get this bite force off. That's massive, right? That's like, oh my god, I just got bodied, you know? That sucks. The Sarco? Anyone take a guess what the bite force is for a Sarcosuchus? The bite force of an American alligator is 1 ton, 2,000 pounds. Who can guess what the bite force of a Sarcosuchus is? In tons. Or pounds, US system only. Anyone? Anyone? 40,000 pounds? Very close. Okay, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. That's 20 tons. 15 tons, 20 tons. Very close guesses. Very, very close guesses. 30 tons. Okay, huge guess. 17,000 pounds. 40 tons. The correct answer is 9 tons. 9 tons. That's 18,000 pounds of pressure. Let me repeat. That is 18,000 pounds. An average Mack truck that you see driving on the highway is 15,000 pounds. So imagine the bite force. Imagine being on a highway and a Mack truck just drops directly on you. Not slowly falls on you, like just drops from a fucking bridge on top of you. Your bone is powder at that point. That's the bite force of the Sarcosuchus. 9 fucking tons. That is staggering. That is incredible. I don't believe that. Do they only teach standard system of measurement in the US? There's some principle. It's some principle. It's some principle. It's definitely on principle. So that's the bite force. $18,000 pounds of pressure. How much does the Mack truck weigh? 15,000 pounds? Saltwater crocs 17 feet can have a bite force of 3,700 pounds, which is a lot. But it's not 18,000 pounds. That's almost 5 times the force of a saltwater croc. And that's probably max bite force of a saltwater croc, not average bite force. That's max. That's like them at their best. You know what I mean? And here's another cool fact, alright? Here's another cool thing. Average lifespan. It's another cool fact. So the average lifespan of a crocodile, it's about 25 years. The Sarco, average lifespan, 40 years. So you got 15 more years out of a Sarco. So this thing is out terrorizing for quite some time. And someone earlier said about the diet of the metabolism. Who was it? It was Teps. Which, by the way, hello, Tepe. That thing must eat in either enormous amounts or have an incredibly slow metabolism in order to support 20,000 pounds on a 40-foot long animal. So I'm glad you brought that up, okay? The Sarcosuchus never stopped growing. All the fossilization shows that they either died out due to predatory or just weight and things like that, but there was no evidence to show that they never stopped growing. They just kept dying out, but if they had lived longer, they would have kept growing. They just kept growing in size. So crocodiles stop growing. You know, they go through youth, they go through maturity, they reach adulthood, they stop growing. The Sarcosuchus doesn't stop growing. It keeps growing until it dies. And there's no point of us knowing like how much more it could have grown, which is incredible. I'm not sure if crocs can go 2 years before meals. I would guess probably alligators, just because of the way their jaws work. Now, because of the Sarcosuchus having this massive bite force, this incredible insatiable appetite and weight, here's the weird thing, okay? It had a mostly fish diet, apparently. Because the Sarcosuchus had a narrow snout with narrow teeth. Now, they had about 132 teeth, and they're capable of smashing down on anything they see, but the Sarcosuchus was an ambush predator, you know, like the crocodile. It stayed in the water and typically hunted fish because even though it could brush down with so much force, it wasn't capable of it wasn't known for devouring large animals, even though it could. And there's no evidence to support that it used the rolling method, like crocodiles and alligators do, where they bite something and then, you know, gator roll with it to snap it and break it down. There's evidence that supports the Sarcosuchus wasn't capable of doing that. So it would have had to have another way to rend the flesh of larger creatures like that if it used those larger animals as a means of diet. Now, fish were abundant, so it made it much easier to just eat fish over and over again. And if anything was stupid enough to come into the water, it would beat the shit out of it. Like, who's going to stop this thing? Okay, no one's going to stop this thing because this is massive. And here's the coolest fact, I think. How wide could it open its jaws? That I don't know. And that's a very good question. I'd like to know that myself. But Tarman, you would enjoy this. Osteoderms. Plates. So crocodiles, they have armor plates known as osteoderms. So when you see a crocodile and you're like, look at that tough leathery skin and how bulky they are, that armor they have on, that armor is called osteoderm. And the plates themselves are osteoderms. On a crocodile, the napes of their neck, their parts of their underbelly, there are breaks in their skin where there's no osteoderm at all. There are soft points on a crocodile, you know, where it's capable of being defeated. On a Sarcosuchus, it had complete full coverage of osteoderms all the way across its body except for its snout and its tail. That means head to toe, it was covered in plate. It's essentially like a knight in shining armor, minus the tip of his head and his tail. This thing was covered in plates. So, fully decked out in, plates. Croc, weak points at parts of flesh in body and neck. The Sarco, decked out PvP gear. Purple gear. So the Sarcosuchus was like decked out in PvP gear. You know, it had all purple gear. It was capable of taking on anything because it had a incredible bite force, it had incredible armoring. This thing was made to just murder. But it ate mostly fish. So massive bite force, massive creature, heavy as shit. I mean, it weighed 10 tons, you know. It's a massive creature, but it dined on fish. And also, it said that they had eyes that only went up and down, which supports the idea they were ambush predators because they laid in wait in water and ambushed from water as opposed to needing to look left and right like a cow does. So, that's the long download on the Sarcosuchus. Remains were found in 1964, I believe, and also another set of remains found in 2000. If I remember correctly, I didn't write it down, but I think that's what it was. So this thing was not meant to be fucked with. Your only chance would be not to live back then, right. A meteor? Yeah, a meteor, I'm guessing, well, an asteroid. An asteroid is the kind of thing that'll fuck you up. Where did they discover its bones? Africa, where all dangerous things are. Everything dangerous in the world comes from Africa or Australia. That is fact. If you go to Africa or Australia, there's a chance you will die. You won't live. That's just life. But there you go. That's your download today. That's your episode 2 lesson on the Sarcosuchus, the flesh crocodile, aka the super croc. So I hope you guys enjoyed that education.